All right, so now we're going to be doing a tutorial on the 1940s. Now, this era was very much about subtlety with a pop of color. Due to the fact that it was during World War II, women had very limited resources and struggled to find cosmetics anywhere. It got to the point where they were searching through costume places, looking for like old Max Factor and Ben Nye makeup, which relatable, but it was rationed, kind of like 2020. It's a pandemic, but it was a war and a lot worse. So women kind of toned things down a little bit. I'm going to be walking you through a basic 1940s kind of look. Um, Kind of one of my favorites, if I'm being honest. So let's get started. All right, so I am just starting to apply my foundation. Thankfully, for this decade, women started to realize that they did not need to make themselves 10 shades lighter than they actually were. The foundation that I am using is actually the Rare Beauty foundation in 140C because I am extremely pale. Fun fact. So I'm just going to apply this with my beauty blender and I'll get back to you for the next step. All right, so now I have my base color done. I'm just going to go in with a bit of concealer. It wasn't a very popular use thing in the 40s. Celebrities used it, movie stars. It was kind of newish. So I'm going to do it because I need it. But again, the typical women wouldn't exactly own these kind of products. But in order to make the look good, you might want to go in with concealer, especially if you're going to be using this on the stage. All right, so now that that is done, I'm going in with my powder. Now, as we learned in the previous decades, women loved a soft matte kind of look. This didn't change for the 40s as everything was subtle, and sometimes all women could afford was just powder. Now, again, I'm using translucent powder because that is a preference of mine. I highly recommend this, especially if you're going to be doing it on stage. But at the time, the majority of powder that was used by women had a bit of a tint to it. This was kind of when women wanted to add a bit of color to their complexion. So having like a peachier kind of powder helped to achieve that look. Okay, so now that my base is done, I'm going to start with my brows. Um, this was one of the very first decades where women were starting to fill in their brows with crayons and pencils. The one I'm going to be using today is the Goof Proof, weird name, by Benefit in one because I'm blonde. So I'm just going to gently fill it in. It's very subtle, just to kind of add color. You're not really doing a shape, just filling in the natural line of your brow. All right, so I filled in my brows. As you can see, kind of just did with the natural shape. Very, very subtle. Again, rations, it was war times. So for moving into the eyes, again, things were very, very simple, kind of neutrals. This is when women first started to learn how colors match with their eyes. The palette I'm going to be using to do this is the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. Great palette, not a great guy. So I'm gonna go in with matte colors because in the 40s shimmers weren't really a thing. The 20s, yeah, it was party time. We'll get to the 80s, but in the 40s, it was very, very matte and very, very natural. So I'm just gonna start with a look and let you guys know how I'm doing it along the way. All right, so I'm going in with this color right here. It's kind of like a naturally brown, soft color. Just gonna do a nice subtle sweep in my brow bone just to accentuate the natural shape of my eye. I'm gonna repeat this step on the other eye and I'll get back. All right, so now that I applied this color kind of with a smaller, fluffier brush, this one is from Smith Cosmetics and it is the 247. I went in after with my very, very, very favorite brush ever. If you ever want to splurge on a brush, I highly recommend the Bedelium Tools 785. So kind of blended it out subtly, followed the natural shape of my eye, just to add a bit of shadow. Now I'm going to go in with a lighter color just for the lid. Again, 40s is very, very subtle. So this light color here is what I'm going to be applying on my lid. I'm going to do that and I'll get right back to you guys. All right, so something I always believe in when doing the lid of your eye is to use a flat brush. This one I just got from Shoppers Drug Mart. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite brushes. You kind of just tap. If you're using a shimmer, it's really important to tap because you don't want too much fallout. But since I'm just using mattes today, kind of sweeping it on there. All right, so the last step for the eyes is I'm going to go in with this pure white. Love this color, probably use it the most out of any of the colors in the palette. And I'm just going to use it to brighten the inner corner of my eyes. I'm using this really tiny little flat brush going just over inner corner of my eye to add some brightness. Again, this is a matte color. We do not want any shimmers. No shimmers. That is the theme of today's video. No shimmers. All right. And it's super subtle, kind of brightens your eyes up a little bit. Next, we're going to get into liner. Hey, I'm going to keep saying it, but subtle is the theme of this video. So for the liner, I'm literally just using shadow, the darkest color from this SST palette, and I'm just going to sweep it along the brow line. And most women would not use liner as it was so hard to come by, especially during war times. As you can see, that's all I'm going to do. Just smudge it into the lash line, kind of to add some definition. This was like verging on the beginning of the 50s. It was more of a doe-eyed look because now you can see the difference. If you look at this versus this, my eye's instantly brighter. Hence the point of eyeliner. Gonna do that on the other eye and I'll get back to you for the lashes. So an essential step that I'm going to be using for this is using a lash curler. This is a very popular trend that started in the 40s. Fun fact, women actually used to take like similar appliances and heat them up. The thought of that gives me the most anxiety. Anything hot by my eyeball, no thank you. All right, so I curled my lashes and now I'm going in with the L'Oreal Voluminous. Honestly, I saw it on TikTok. Cheap mascara, great, all you ever need. So again, nothing too crazy. Most women wouldn't even touch their lower lash line, but because mine are blonde, I'm gonna do a gentle touch. See, brightens the eye. I'll get back to you when these are done. Okay, so now that my eyes are done, we're gonna move into the complexion. This is just the order I do things. You can do it your own way, but this is my routine. So blush was very important. Women wanted to achieve that rosy lifestyle. The color I'm going to be using is my very favorite color ever. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay in Party. Not sure why it has 12 A's, but we love it. So you're just going to go in the apples of your cheeks. Now I'm just going to awkwardly smile. Make sure I'm hitting up. When you're applying blush, you always want to go towards the top of your ear. That way your face looks slender. Unless you're one of those amazing people blessed with a slender face, you suck. How do I get that? I know how I get that. So blushing the apples of my cheeks and up. And if you notice, I kind of did a little bit on the touch of my nose. This was the look people wanted. They wanted a sun-kissed look, little rosy. We did not have highlight in the 40s. We did not have contour. Again, wartime rations. This was pretty glamorous for the 40s. All right, so I'm gonna clean this up and get into the last and most important step of a 40s look. All right, so the big exciting thing with the 40s was a bright red victory lip. I am just gonna go in with a liner to begin with because red lipstick is scary, especially if you're pale like me. This one, Marcel, in red. Just gonna line my lips and I'll be right back to you. Something to remember for the 40s is that women started going into the traditional rounded lip shape that we know and love today. It's a lot different than the 20s and 30s. We did our full lip because again, they didn't have much, but they had red lipstick. And so the rounder, you make it more realistic, especially if this is going to be on stage. You want it bold. Round. All right, my lips are lined. This is essential if you're going to be doing anything on stage. Lip liner was actually invented in the 40s, so very historically accurate. And it does not have to be perfect. Look at mine. It's not perfect, but at least it's round. So I'm going to grab my favorite red lipstick and I'll be right back. All right, this is my baby. one of my very favorite lipsticks of all time. My friend Bailey got me this. It is Tannin by Bite Cosmetics. Beautiful. We love it. It's great. I'm going to start it and go over what I just drew. The reason we do lip liner is the wax kind of helps hold on the lip. So if you're doing God knows what on stage, macking tends to be a thing, then you are going to hold it on there for a while. So I'm going to fill in my lips and I'll be back. All right, so I got my red lip. Now, oh, I actually didn't. I was going to say 99% of the time when you do red lipstick, you're going to have some on your teeth. Please, for the love of God, do not stick your finger in someone's mouth and like make them suck it off. It's just never cute in any situation ever. We don't do that. Especially if you're going to be doing this on someone else, which please, 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 for all that is holy, learn some basic hygiene for applying makeup on other people using reusable mascara wands, which I'm digging for here. This is really easy. It's super cute. Can use it on someone's lashes and dump that shit out after. Another thing I recommend is a brush for lipstick, and always drum it off, because if you would think about it, the amount of times I'm going to be putting this on my lips and then going putting it on Bobby's lips, not cute. We don't want that. So what I do when I want to remove the lipstick, do the whole bite test, is wrap it around the end of a brush, this mascara wand, cotton round, just kind of do. See, now I'm starting to get on my teeth. There. So I got all the excess off, and my lip's gonna stay. And this is the 1940s look. So we've got our victory red lip, our very subtle eye, and our very subtle complexion. I love this look. I will wear this on a first date. Not that those are happening right now because of COVID. Using that as an excuse, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next decade.